Today's Know Your Rights segment could affect every citizen in the state of Florida. That's why Katherine Stone from Barbas Law is here with another update regarding changes in the law. Not just one change, we're talking 3 today.
Yes.
So lots to get to.
Lots to get to. There's 3 major changes that are being proposed before the House and the Senate right now.
Okay.
The legislation session ends next Friday on March 9th. So we will definitely have a decision on some of these bills that are pending by March 9th. The first one, and I know I've talked about this before and it's still a huge topic, is whether or not they're going to change the insurance requirements here in the state of Florida. As we've talked many times before, we're all required to have PIP insurance, personal injury protection, which covers the first $10,000 in our medical expenses. It's a no-fault insurance, so if you cause the accident, you still have some medical coverage. What they want to do is change that to more of a bodily injury, where you have to have coverage to cover someone if you injure them. The Senate bill, which is up for reading, or was up for reading yesterday, actually has proposed that there be about $5,000 in med pay to cover for injuries. So again, I anticipate there being a lot of changes with regards to auto insurance in the state of Florida. The next big change is texting and driving.
Oh, I've heard this one in the headlines.
Yes. Basically right now, police officers cannot pull you over just because they see you texting and driving. If this law passes, or this bill passes, we would join 43 other states that currently have a similar law that would allow police officers to pull you over if they see you texting and driving.
So we're kind of behind the times as far as that goes.
Correct. For texting and driving, we are one of the last few states that hasn't implemented something very stringent with regards to texting, and I think it's a good law.
So that one's going to happen, and then finally,
hopefully it will happen.
Hopefully. Oh, so there is a chance that, I mean, there's always a chance.
It still has. It's not been completely voted in yet.
But,
so again, by March 9th, we'll know.
Okay.
And then the last one, which is also a huge one, is our first responders. So, for instance, your ambulance, your police officers, your firefighters, when they come onto the scene, they're considered first responders. Under workers' compensation, they are not covered for post-traumatic stress disorder.
Really?
And there is a bill pending that would extend workers' comp benefits to cover first responders for treatment related to post-traumatic stress disorder. The example I would use is the Pulse nightclub. Everyone who was a first responder to that scene could have potentially suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD as we call it. But as the law is on the books right now, they're not covered for that treatment.
So that's where the workers' comp needs to change to be able to protect those individuals.
Correct.
Like you said, example.
Yes, because under workers' compensation, you still have to have a physical injury before you can get to the mental injury and treatment. And so for a first responder, hopefully they don't have a physical injury in the course and scope of their employment.
Right.
But obviously PTSD is a huge deal, and there was a lot of testimony before the House and the Senate from people who had experienced PTSD. So I think the League of Cities has actually backed off on opposing that bill. So I have a feeling that that bill will get pushed through.
Okay, well, here's what we got to do. We talked briefly that these maybe should or could or would get passed through. The key is you got to keep us updated. So please come back. In the meantime, if you have any questions about Know Your Rights, well, feel free to give them a call at the number you see on your screen, or of course visit them online, barbaslaw.com/knowyourrights. Thanks again, Katherine.
Thanks.